What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Segment Podcast. We are live tonight, and I do have some guests for you. I did want to let you know if you did come here to see the Tumor Warrior, we had to last minute reschedule Zach. Zach had to take an impromptu trip up to the mountains and didn't have a secure spot to get him dialed in for the podcast, but we will definitely have Zach on the show. But I do want to say, these special guests tonight are going to be super fun. We're going to hang out. It's definitely interactive. I want you guys to ask questions and participate. We're going to have a good time. Also, if you are in the area on the 24th, which is going to be this Saturday at Snow Valley, Transcend MTB is having a big group ride. And if you use their promo code Transcend, you'll get 30% off of your ticket to be at the Valley. And folks like the Outsiders will be there. Lots of vendors are going to be there. It's also going to be a celebration memorial ride for Mr. Ernie. So hope you guys can make it on Saturday, this Saturday. So without further ado, I'd like to bring some of my special guests up on stage. Let's see.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Where do you keep all the Nerf darts? Yes! Well, are you live?
We're live, Colorado. We are live on the show.
Oh, you're broadcasting live?
We are live.
Oh, well, welcome in, everybody. How are you? Look, I'm going to go downstairs. I set up a multi-million-dollar broadcast facility in Mark's kitchen. I'll see you down there, suckers.
So, Colorado was a little upset because on last night's podcast, when Adam Mock had asked me, what are some of the YouTube channels below 1,000 that I would recommend watching? Colorado forgot that he's above 1,000. He's way above 1,000, but he got really upset. So I invited him over to the house for this podcast tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, the CaliradoKid.
Howdy do, sir. Howdy do. Good to see you.
Good to see you. You were just... How did you do that?
It was only moments ago that I was upstairs, and now I'm here.
This is awesome. This is great. So, Colorado, this is day one of your epic adventure.
So far, I've sat in traffic. That's been the extent of my vacation so far, and I'm really thrilled about it.
Yes, I know. That Southern California traffic can be really tough. Hey, check this out. We just got another guest that popped in on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, MTB Alan.
Oh!
Yo, what's up?
What's up, Alan?
I saw that Joe had his glasses on, so I had to go get my glasses.
Oh,
yes.
Dang. I need to go get my glasses at some point.
Yeah. Actually, my glasses are Etnies.
Oh.
And you ever heard of that? What's that channel? The Outsider, I think it is.
Yeah.
He actually gave me these sunglasses.
Dude,
that guy's like, his channel's okay. Like, it's not really like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But those glasses look good though. They look good.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to put glasses on Droney McDrone face, and that is going to be an epic addition to the squad. Well, hold on a second. Speaking of, I just got somebody who came into the. Check this out.
Don't let it be Tony. It's going to get real awkward.
You guys aren't
let
going
it
to
be Tony.
this. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Dasilva.
Oh, had I only known he was coming in. I never would have made that joke.
I feel I'm unprepared. I'm undressed. I need to get some sunglasses, some shades, some top shades.
Oh man, you don't have your sports RX shades? Man, you got to get that together.
I mean, I have my sports RX glasses though.
Oh, nicely done. I like how you play. Well played, sir. I really like how you played that.
The only reason I have these glasses in my possession is because of Trailhead Troopers, and I bought these off of Amazon for like $12 because it was like I need it as a prop, and then I fully committed to the image. I mean, it's,
dude, with those shades and that mustache, I'm like kind of intimidated by you. Like I feel like you're gonna give me a ticket at any second.
Yeah,
I was getting dirty looks on the freeway.
But it's more like a ticket for like having a not enough alcohol in your margarita kind of ticket.
Yeah, the opposite ticket.
The shirt doesn't help. Yeah.
He does look like the Trailhead Troopers guy. Very, very oddly similar to Trailhead Troopers guy.
Oh my god, that guy's awesome.
Who is that?
I actually, Joe, I actually forgot that you used to have a beard.
I know the
but what
mustache
happened
has
to
become part of the persona. It's very unfortunate. In fact, the last time we talked about my beard was on a live stream with you two fine gentlemen, and that was the last we ever saw of the beard. It was
Yes.
it was
Why
probably
is
one of
that?
the
What
funnest
happened?
live streams we ever did.
Well, what happened to the beard?
Because I had to shave a penis into my beard, Alan.
That's true. We did.
Oh,
And we
sorry,
all have
sorry, I
to
brought
face our
that up.
battles.
It's a traumatic experience. And then for whatever reason, you guys randomly invited me to jump into a live stream, and I had not revealed it yet. So I was literally talking like this the whole time during your guys' live stream, covering it up. It was a fine moment in mountain biking history.
That was funny. You had to do that about an hour long of covering that up because you couldn't let it go for the release of the video, right?
I know. Yeah. Yep.
You just had to
100%.
talk like this the whole time. I think. We were just
Yeah, I was like
face
this.
sideways.
It's
was
actually when the mask actually came in handy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually did, because I was going to have to jump on an airplane with that. And thankfully, I didn't. I was able to get through the whole day and film everything that I needed on site and just get rid of it. And so when I came home, I had a mustache.
You got an airplane with a penis shaved in your beard?
No, it was close. I was real close to having to do it. But luckily for all of us involved, I was able to get it down to a mustache before I got home. So there you go. The kids will never have to see that until they figure out how to work YouTube in about 10 minutes.
Their classmates. Is this your dad on this thing? I see this video.
I look forward to that day.
Well, this is great to have us all here in the same area, literally in the same area. Southern California welcomes the CaliradoKid, and thank you so much for jumping on the cast tonight.
Yeah, glad to be here. I'm really interested in some of the stuff you guys have to offer here. I know Alan and I are going to be doing some stuff, but we're close to Greer, which you guys have got a lot of stuff on. And I don't know the area at all, so this is really interesting to me. When I came in, it looked like it was about to start raining outside, which I haven't seen rain in Sacramento in at least 6 months.
Oh, it's not going to rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled. No, it's not going to rain here.
Okay.
I mean, once in a while in the mountains, I think you'll get like a 5-minute spurt, but yeah, don't be fooled.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
All right.
Or sprinkle, as they say.
Yeah, sprinkles.
I mean, I get 5-minute spurts up in the mountain sometimes, but I don't talk about that, and it only costs $20.
Hey-oh!
Ugh.
Adam Mock says, this is a potluck podcast. We got John W. in the house. He says we have an all-star live stream. And man, look at this guy, Marty, special guest out of New Zealand, tuning in tonight, which is awesome.
Today.
Is he in New Zealand? I've been saying Australia for the last 6 months. Have I been a complete buffoon?
Marty, let us know, because I know that's a big difference. It could be a big difference.
He hasn't corrected me, so it's fair enough. Fair enough.
Tell us, Marty. Tell us.
Oh my God.
So we got Alan and we got Tony on. Anything new going on with your guys' channels?
No.
The channel?
No.
Wait, you guys have
on,
YouTube channels?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Although not YouTube related, but well, I guess kind of YouTube related. We'll be working on a video for this, but I cracked my rim recently.
Yes.
Yep.
10 ply? No,
not on 10 ply. It was on the Rainbow Rock Garden on Party Wave, and I just spent I don't know how long, an hour and a half trying to get the cassette off my rear wheel. And I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or what, but I just I'm all sweaty and dirty right now. I just came in from the garage. If anybody has any tips on getting a stuck cassette off, I'm glad to hear it.
Gotcha. Anybody out there? I know the Wrench and Roll guys are going to be coming on the podcast. If you guys are on here tonight, any tips would be great. And we do have a clarification right here. Marty the Octodad is out of
New Zealand.
I keep popping up the wrong one. Where did it go?
There it is. I see
flags and everything. There we go. New Zealand, not Australia. But then he does say for the Australians, basically the same thing.
He says America, the difference between America and Canada, which, speaking of which, by the way, the word on the street is the Canadian border is about to open to vaccinated Americans. And I don't know, but I think I'm excited about this.
Yes.
Have you? So I've never ridden
Whistler.
Whistler. I've never ridden there. Have you guys ridden there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
It
I
was.
want to get out there.
I was a spontaneous trip. I took up there actually twice 2 years ago, and some of the best moments of my mountain bike riding happened there. I You know, it's one of those places that I want to say, as big as the hype is, it matches that. So it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh man, you talk so much about this amazing place. You go to Disneyland and you wait, you know, at Disneyland, it's like blowing up.
Yeah.
You can't wait to go, but then you're waiting in lines for an hour. When you're at Whistler, it's the best of both worlds. You're waiting in a line for a little bit, but you're in the best mountain bike hub of, I feel like, the world, honestly. I mean, I haven't been around the world.
You mean it's not Bentonville?
Yeah. How about
That's
Bentonville?
easier to get to, I feel like.
Yeah. What is the process? Did you fly into Vancouver and then drive up? Is that basically how you have to do it?
Yeah. I actually had a friend that was working there, so he invited me to go along for the trip. I rented a bike when I landed, and then just had this giant rain for the 2 weeks I was there, and just took that thing everywhere. I actually rented a downhill bike at Whistler, which I recommend doing, but it was so friggin' heavy. I had more fun bringing an enduro bike there, which is a whole other conversation, but it depends on what bike you bring. If you want to bring your bike there, that's great, but it's going to get friggin' worked. So
I like the idea of renting it, so you can beat up somebody else's bike.
Yeah.
It's just going to get pounded for the day or two you're there, for sure.
And Whistler has that one trail, not the top of the world, right? Is that Whistler?
Yeah, that's one of my best rides. I did that one. That's a bucket list for sure. You have to buy an extra ticket to do that one. You have to buy you have the big ticket for the park, and then you have to go and buy another ticket to get all the way up, because you take 3 lifts to get to that one on this big suspension bridge. I mean, it's more about the ride is amazing, but just the experience of getting that high is pretty fun.
Oh, I want to do it.
That sounds
you go through like microclimates on the way down, and then if you get down to the middle, and you could take Creekside down, and we had lunch. Man, that was one of the best days I've had on a bike. So I'm just kind of like glad you asked that question. It was so amazing.
That would be fun. When did they say when the border is going to open up, Colorado?
Pretty recent. I think August 7th is the date, or something along that, like somewhere in that range.
Dang. A little bit off topic, but back to a previous topic. We have Darren here who says, for Alan, to get that cassette off, you need a chain whip and a cassette tool is what you need. So I don't know if you have those, but or maybe you were using those. I'm looking at your face here. I can't.
Yeah, I was using those, and nothing was happening.
Oh, dang it!
I just grunted and sweated in the garage for like an hour, just like trying to feel like I was okay. And nothing was happening, and I kept like looking at YouTube videos, like, am I doing this wrong? But yeah, back to like Whistler. Yeah, everything just looks amazing up there. I just remember like starting like mountain biking and then watching YouTube videos and then immediately seeing videos on Whistler, and it just So it's good to hear it's good to hear that it lives up to the hype.
I just imagine like staying in the lodge right there, where you could just walk out of your door and hit the lift, and it just seems like like you stayed 2 weeks, probably not just at Whistler, right? You probably hit it at Squamish in a couple spots, or
I was in Vancouver and Squamish for a couple of nights, and then I stayed at Whistler at the Sundial. So I was at one of those hotels where you can just walk right out, and that's like a whole. That was like a bucket list thing too. That's the thing that's crazy about that area where like Paul lives, and BCPOV and Vancouver. All those guys live in such an amazing place. I mean, we live in an amazing place here in California, but they have like the North Shore, where mountain biking has so much roots in, and then Squamish, and then Whistler, and that literally is all within an hour and a half drive. You know, like me, Mark, and Alan drive to the bike parks here, and that's from the same distance as it would take like driving from the North Shore to Whistler in a day. And it just seems so. When I was there, I had no idea. You know, it's like one of those places where if you don't live there, you don't really know where things are regionally. But then when you get there, you're like, oh my God, this place is insane. Like, you just drive to Whistler in an hour and a half from the border, and you're at the best bike park in the world. It was pretty an amazing experience, and seeing that stuff firsthand.
I have to imagine you like open up trail forks, and it's just like sheer density of trails like on your phones.
Yeah.
Like, where do I even start?
Yeah, you have to like zoom in like 18 times to figure it out.
Your battery just dies.
Exactly. Too many trails.
Timothy Haley's on the line tonight, guys. He says, "What's up, everybody?" And there's a question for CaliradoKid. Colorado, how many birds did CaliradoKid kill on the way to San Diego?
So if you guys don't have any context for this, there's been a sheer amount of bird murder happening around me lately. I kid you not. Everywhere I go, there's dead birds. When I got back from the property, we've been building with BKXC and Aaron. We've been building some trails out in their property. They bought 91 acres. There was this bird head just hanging out the bottom of my truck like this. I had no clue how it got there. And I found inside the truck was the rest of the bird. So I live streamed me pulling the bird out, by the way. Did you guys see that?
I did see that.
Probably in poor taste. I checked with the wife ahead of time. I was like, is this in poor taste? I got to get it out of here. So I had to like pull the bird out of my truck, like by the head. That looked inappropriate. Sorry. But
mountain spurt.
Yeah. And then I go up to a transmitter site. There's a giant dead crow next to my truck. It's just all around me. I'm not sure what signs are happening, but none on this trip down here so far. I haven't checked the bottom of the truck yet, though, so it's looking promising.
Uncaged MTV, Mr. Joey, it says best bird video ever. And I remember watching you try to pull that out. I was wondering, how in the heck did it go in backwards where its head was sticking out? Because you had to pull it out head first. I don't understand.
Stephen King wrote it into my fucking truck. I don't know.
God. Ian Kelly, Mr. Nice, spikes up. He says, yo, what's up, senders? Enlisted Trailheads, what's up, Justice League? Mm-hmm. We got UO SoCal, Mr. Danny. It says mustaches, right, clean shaven, left.
Wow. Team mustache, yeah, I like it.
Well played.
Yeah, hey, well done, Tony. I see you there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna high five.
High five, Colorado. This way, this way.
Oh my God, we're dorks.
All right, sorry, guys, sorry.
So hey, Joe, I just recently, I was asking you. We started talking a little bit about going up to Downeyville. And I asked you where you lived. You said you lived in Sacramento, but I'm, watching your videos. I'm seeing you ride stuff up there, but what's the riding like up there? I don't know anything about that whole area.
So it just really depends. I mean, Nevada City is approximately 2 hours away, and that's like pine tree forest, because you're getting up towards the Tahoe area, and which is very much like Downeyville if you saw the video. In my central area in Sacramento, you have Auburn, which is more kind of like in the sun. It's dusty during the summer, but there's some flowy trails. Rockville, which is where Brian rides the most, is very technical riding, but it's kind of more of a smaller playground than it is long flowy trails. Mm-hmm. There's a good amount of variety, but it's not most of it's not world class, but it's all really fun riding. So Downeyville it stands out so much. And of course, once you get to that region, you're talking about Tahoe, and Tahoe's, there's a ton of amazing trails. Have you guys ever ridden Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
No,
I've almost written it. I took a right and took Amsterdam down.
Okay, so that's one of the few technical challenges that you really put you to the test out there, and that's I guess you could spend a lot of time in Tahoe, and then people are saying there's stuff in Truckee too that's pretty incredible that I've never hit. So there's just that's all about 2 hours away. It's really not that bad. I mean, you think about that here, it's probably that's pretty reasonable, I think, for a ride time if you're gonna make a day or a weekend.
Hey Joe, I'm gonna be up. I already have a trip booked end of August, early for the first week of September. I'll be in Downeyville for a week, staying inside the town, and I want to hit up North Star. So if you're available, I would like to ride my bicycle with you.
Yeah, let's coordinate that. Let's make it happen.
Nice.
Cool, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll be there for a week, man. So open schedule. It's during the week though, so I don't know what your days look like, but hey,
I'll call in sick. Don't tell my boss that at all.
Allegedly, he'll call in.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Getting a cough.
So Colorado, last night on your live stream, I heard MTB NorCal. Was that MTB NorCal that was on your show last night? Saying that he rode Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and the guy that he was with took that big drop.
Oh no, that was Brian Gong. They're out in Colorado right now. They're riding for the Yeti Gathering, and they were out in Grand Junction. Have you guys ridden Grand Junction at all? That's another very technical riding area. I guess Mr. Angry Wolverine he's the name of his channel, and he basically went down the drop and just totally busted up his shoulder. So it's that's the stuff that scares me the most. Is those. I've been lucky and fortunate enough to not have a major injury yet. I know everybody else here has, so my ticket's ready to be punched at any moment.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
It just, it's statistically it probably will happen, but you could prolong that thing for a long time.
Yeah,
if you're careful.
It's funny. We all kind of look in opposite directions. We'll talk about that one.
It's all part of it.
It's pretty intense though, because I know Angry Wolverine rides some pretty gnarly stuff. He rides with Tommy a fair bit.
Oh,
Tommy
dang.
Gwynn, if anybody
Tommy's
knows.
crazy, man.
Reckless Riders,
crazy.
Tommy.
He's gnarly.
Oof.
Super, like total sweetheart, but gnarly rider.
Ian Kelly, Mr. Nice Bike, is asking Colorado a quick question. Callie, where are you riding while you are in town?
I think the plan is, I don't know, I'm getting it all mixed up. Snow Summit and something else. Alan's kind of guiding the way. Yeah, Sky Park. So I'm not sure. I don't know if we've locked everything down yet. I got to go. Basically, from here tonight, I'm going to visit family in San Diego for a couple days. So I'm going to be doing family stuff for a couple days and then figure it out from there. So it's all just molding real time as we speak.
Nice.
Yeah.
2 great places, though. Definitely 2 great places for you to ride. Adam Mock has a question for you. It says, Joe, the Downeyville video was sick. Bring out that cutting room floor edit. Bring out that cutting room floor edit.
I thought about it. You guys that edit videos know how much footage gets left on the cutting room floor, and it's like, is it worth doing anything with it? I looked it over. I'm not sure that it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll find something. But there's a lot of like, can I give you an example? Like, I spent like 20 minutes getting a butterfly shot that I didn't put in the video. So it's like, that's an Instagram clip, you know?
Yep.
Doesn't relate to the video at all.
That's
But it
the
is
video right there.
I know. I've been hunting for the perfect butterfly shot, and I finally got it, but I did nothing with it.
Well, tell them the story about the thumbnail. The thumbnail thing was kind of interesting, how the process of that goes.
I hate thumbnail design. How do you guys feel about it?
It's always a last minute thing that I don't spend enough time with.
Yeah.
You know, the video goes like 100% of my time, and then I'm always, shit, I forgot about the thumbnail.
Yep.
Same thing right here. Yeah.
But that's just as important as the video.
I know, if not more.
Right.
I think while I've gotten used to, while I'm editing, paying attention to like, this would be a good clip. And then like, I just use it like I use Premiere, and there's like a hotkey. I think it's like Shift E, I think, or something like that. And it just takes a screen grab real quick, like a full res 4K screen grab of wherever frame I'm on. And then I just kind of stock those in a folder. And then at the end of the edit, I usually have like 10 or 15 stills, and I'll usually kind of just, one of those will usually work. So that's kind of, I built that into my process. But how do I feel about it? I always feel, to be honest, I feel kind of slimy a lot of the times, because you kind of have to, clickbait it. And I don't always feel good about that. And, you know, I try to like balance it to some degree.
Yeah. Well,
like Tony was saying, it's so important.
The thing that's changed for me is that now when I'm filming, I start thinking about the thumbnail, which is something that I didn't do at the beginning of the channel. You know what I mean? Like when I'm taking the non-POV shots from the GoPro on the chest, I'm starting to think about Byron, and this is a whole nother subject, but yeah, the thumbnail is always like an afterthought, but I try to do as much pre-editing as I can.
You get a lot of like third-person shots. Like that's kind of what's like, what's nice for you. Like a lot of times I'm just POV the whole time, unless I'm like stopping and we're sessioning something, but we usually are just kind of rolling the whole time. I should probably stop and do that a little bit more, but yeah.
I mean, the thing that's tough about that is it takes away the tempo of the ride. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, because you have to stop, and you know, if I'm by myself, I have to stop, put the GoPro there, and then 5 minutes later, I'm coming down the. You know, it's just.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start like mounting like a GoPro to like a really sticky thing, and I'm just gonna like be riding, and I'm just gonna like throw it onto somebody behind me, and then they'll just like be filming me, and like they won't know it's happening, or like onto the person
like a
in front of me.
Velcro ball.
Yeah, it's like Velcro, and then they'll just get like lead cam of me, or I can like throw it onto a rock and then just like come get it later.
So basically, you're gonna have the GoldenEye motion detecting mines is what you're gonna use to really count. Okay, got it. Just to be clear.
Man, Alan's budget just went up a ton.
Why does Joe's camera? Why does Joe look so much better than us right now?
That's just
Joe. I've got a $6,000 camera hooked up right now.
He's shooting on a beautiful piece of camera equipment.
Thank you. Like, damn, Joe looks good, man.
Here's Alan. Shall we show everybody our
let me zoom in.
Here we go. We're zooming in.
Zooming out.
Zooming out.
Panning.
And Mark, do you have wallpaper? Is that the segment wallpaper behind you?
It is. This is high budget.
Oh my God! What the hell?
High budget material here. Look at this. Is a.
Holy shit! Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear.
I feel like while we're here, by the way, we should talk a little bit about the Sky Dio, because Tony's got one also, and he's got some trails out here that are much more open, which is really the Sky Dio's specialty. But I've started to manipulate that thing and get some like amazing shots out in Downeyville by putting it on a wire. You can pre-program the wire to go from point A to point B, and I was able to get some of the most incredible shots I've ever got. But unfortunately, there's so much tree cover, the follow feature's not great there, like only certain parts. So it's like I'm learning how to utilize its weaknesses, and I still love the thing, but it's like seeing what you're doing out on a trail where it just really follows is like, it's so good.
I mean, in SoCal, as much as we don't get rain and we don't have a lot of all that, but we don't have a lot of forests. So there are some amazing places that are legal, like Velocity and places like that, where it can just go open. This Monday was the first time I actually took a trip. I took a trip to the Central Coast San Luis Obispo, and I made my first off-the-bike video. So it's going to be a travel guide. The reason I'm saying this is because of getting into the drone. I'm not trying to promote the video, but I'm saying the travel guide is going to be based around what do you do off the trail? You're on the trail. I have so many trail guides from Central Coast. What about the 2-3 hours you're on the trail? What about the rest of the day? So these are I've been there a bunch of times. These are my places to go, places to see, non-tourist stuff. Anyway, I brought the drone there, and this is the first time I've really had like a 10-hour day where I felt like I was putting in work for the channel, where it wasn't just going on a ride. And the drone got me in trouble, but made the video. So one of the things I did is I brought it to Montana to Oro State Park in the morning. Parking on a Monday was still crazy. It's right on the shoreline. So I'm like looking to get like a beautiful drone shot of the shore. It's marine layer. It's perfect timing. So this gate is open. I take a right into it, and I go down the fire road, and then it just feels a little bit like too easy. And I'm like, let's just go with it. Anyway, long story short, after I get done filming, there's a Ranger truck that comes up, and I'm like, man, I knew I did something wrong. So he comes up, and the first thing he says, he gets out of the truck, and he's like, dude, listen to this. You have a car in here. It's like a trail. The only reason the gate was open was because there was someone having a heart attack on the trail or was having a heart attack breathing. You pulled in. He's like, there's 4 different signs that say no dogs allowed, and you got a drone in a state park. What are you doing, man? Oh my God. Like if there's any, like the only thing worse I could have been doing was just like having an open bottle of vodka and a shotgun in my hand. And I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Smoking weed all the way down the trail.
Yeah. Just like blowing lines on the GoPro, you know?
And Tony, that wasn't your car either, right? Was that the Volkswagen?
No, it's not even my car. And he's like, is that a rental? And I'm like, kinda. And I'm like, I'm a YouTuber. You know, and he's like, all right, that's cool. I don't whatever. Anyway, long story short, the only thing he gave me a ticket for was having Pip, my dog, there. And I'm like, cool, thank you so much. And then I get home and I research how much the ticket is for that. And it's like averaging like $500 to have a freaking dog on a trail that you're not supposed to. And I'm just like, how is it like cheaper to go like 110 miles an hour on the highway than to have a dog on the friggin' beach?
Wow.
Like,
I know.
I don't know. Okay, therapy session done. That's my event. But like,
that is crazy, man.
It was just like but like that was the beginning of the day. But the rest of the day was really nice, and the drone worked really well. I had it flying with the car going in between trees, which it did get stuck though. It got stuck, but like the cool thing is it didn't get stuck in the tree. It just stayed there for like 5 minutes until I turned around and got it. And held the beacon up. It's sorry, this is like a little inside because Joe understands like
I totally get
video.
it.
It has this. You start to learn it like Tony, it's your pet. Well, if I just go like this.
But Tony, was there a butterfly in the tree?
No, there's no. You know what? I can't say yes or no. There might have been.
Check the footage. Joe could use it.
Joe needs
I need it. No, the thing has its limitations, but like, every now and then it'll go wonky. But more often than not, it gets me some of the best shots in the planet. So that one shot in Downeyville that I got, to me, is one of the finest shots I've ever got, which is us coming along the cliffside and the waterfall on the right, and like I could just look at that shot. So. I was stoked. I almost fell off a cliffside getting it.
It was the section where it's like you're going through the waterfall and it's like a rock garden and coming around that section. That's like the technical section too. That's perfect.
It's so cool.
Dude. It's funny. I watched your Downeyville video. And I'm like, damn, that's the video I wanted to make. I'm like, Gary got me because the But the drone, that's like the first drone shot for John Evil for sure. Like there's no way anyone else has those shots. That's great.
Because nobody else, I was talking to Mark about this, nobody else is stupid enough to carry around 20 pounds of camera gear for 3 runs on Downieville. Like who's crazy enough to do that?
I was laughing because you had the drone footy, and then then there was like footy of you, and I saw like that gigantic, I was like, what is that turtle coming down the trail? And it was like you with your freaking backpack. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a beast. Yeah. I mean, it's not a beast. I'll take it back. But like the batteries are. You have to carry the extra batteries. It's a whole thing.
I had the Sony A7 III in my pack too, plus the GoPro on my chest, plus water, plus tools, plus everything else.
So close to buying that camera. Do you recommend?
It is the best camera I've ever owned in my entire life. Like no question, hands down. Flip. Yeah, the flip's incredible. The autofocus is incredible. Like the depth of field is so good. I could get right on top of this lens and it will stay. Like,
wow,
it's insane.
That's beautiful. All right. Well, how much is the lens you're using though?
$1,000. That's reasonable in lens terms. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it is. It is actually.
Yeah, where's MTB Rad Dad? He works in the camera industry. He'll be able to tell us that's a good purchase. We got.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. US SoCal is saying, for you, Tony, and for Colorado, you can check AirMap or the DJI app for legal areas. I don't know if you guys knew that. I didn't know.
Yeah, there is an app that, I have an app on my phone that has something to do with it. It's, what's it called? Sky something. Yeah, it's called Before You Fly, and you can check fly zones.
Yeah. I was just, I don't know.
Oh, look at that.
I definitely was knowing that I was probably breaking rules, but the skater in me from being a kid where he just barred skate spots and asked for forgiveness later.
Top secret news between all of us, I don't think I was supposed to fly the drone at Pacifica either.
Yeah, I bet. Most of these places,
incredible.
I just filmed with a drone. I'm not supposed to. Actually, I was flying it over a brewery at the end of the video. I'm flying it over Tin City in San Luis Obispo, but they okayed it. But there was a couple times where I can't. You know how the drone works. Like you start it out and it looks for you. It dives bombs on old ladies and stuff. Doesn't know what it's doing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Just give it a second.
It's like MTV Allen at a wedding. You know what I mean?
Oh, do tell.
Elbows out. Just like moshing.
Alan,
can we clarify something?
Alan,
Can you say San what Obispo?
San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
What did you?
I know why
every time you say it, I always sounds like you're just saying San Luis Obispo.
San Luis. I used to, it's like the same thing. Like wherever you hear the first impression of like the band name or the town, it sticks with you. I've recently learned it's San Luis Obispo. Right. I've been corrected numerous times, but I want to say San Luis Obispo.
But look now, that you know that. But now that you know that it annoys them, you have to do it all the time now.
Right.
Because if you stop,
it's for sure San Luis Obispo.
Louis.
Like I ride with this guy Bike Sum all the time. His name is Bike Sum, but I constantly call him Bike Sum, and people correct me all the time, and I say, no, I'm committed now. It's Bike Sum.
Bike Sum.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the packs and all the gear, this is a true story. Trail Dogs, Aaron, my favorite thing is forgetting I wear a backpack full of camera gear and sending a jump. So you guys have ridden Greer. Colorado, you haven't ridden Greer yet, but there is Monk Dog, and at the bottom there's that break right. There's that step up jump, right? And Aaron from Trail Dogs has got a backpack full of gear. He's got the expensive camera on. He's got the drone in there, and he's sending the step up jump gap, and he forgets he has that on his back, but pulls it off somehow. But geez, that would have been a bad crash. That's a lot of dollars and cents in there. Yeah, YouTuber life. MTBDH says, "Wow, got the celebrity crew in tonight."
I like Adam Mock's comment where he's like Boise, San
Boise,
San Luisi, San Luisi.
Yeah, there you go.
Boise.
Hey, Isn't that how you say it, Boise?
Yeah. San Luis.
That's the joke, I guess.
San Luis.
Look, we can't all be professional pronunciators, all right?
And Lisa Trailhead says, "You're welcome, Tony. LOL."
I think that was for the hot dog photo, because that's who I took the photo for. He asked me to take a picture of meat me with meat. And that's what he got, was a photo shoot with my wife taking pictures of me with a hot dog stuck up my nose. So I'm like, these pictures are a gem, and had to use them.
Is that why that's at the beginning of your last couple of videos, Tony? Is that why
Yeah,
you did
I just
that?
stumbled across those, and for some reason I always say, like, have I got a marinara sauce of a vid for you today, or whatever food it is. And I was like, man, I got these hot dog photos. I'm just gonna use those. And
See, now that you've broken out of the Italian food, now you can do anything now. You can do
I could do kebabs.
I got a caterpillar roll for you, or
dude, I had the best comment. No, I'm done with the hot dogs, but like I did have one of the funniest comments, and it was just like, dude, I love the video and I love the writing, but I effing hate the hot dogs. Like, dude, I hear you, and we're done. Like, it's all good, man. No more hot dog in the nose or in my butt.
Yeah, we were watching that second video when you said Kelly. I was looking around, and there was that pause, and then the picture of the hot dog in your nose came back up. So we're like, whew, I didn't have to stop.
I've been watching a lot of weird comedy shows lately. There's a show that I really love on Netflix called I Think You Should Leave, and it's just really cringe, awkward comedy, and I really love that guy. And he gets a hot dog stuck in his throat in a board meeting, and I can't do it, but it's sticking out of his mouth, and he's like, oh. And I was just like, dude, I got to do the hot dog up the nose bit. And that's actually, if you watch the video, that song is the transition song from that show. Anyway, it's a little inside.
I watched some of the first episode. It's pretty dang funny.
Yeah, there's my favorite scene is they're doing like a haunted mansion scene, and he's like, it's adult time and anything goes, and he just starts saying random words like jism and cum shot, and everyone's like, what the why are you anyway?
And we're back to the spurts.
If you watch the skit and it's your type of humor, which it's mine, I don't mean, I feel like I'm really going off on a tangent here now. I'm just saying cum shot on a YouTube live stream.
There goes all my kid followers.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, kids. No, it's not what you think.
Damn it, Tony, we were supposed to open up some Pokemon cards later.
There goes all my volume. Thanks, fellas.
Hey, the juice box giveaway.
Trail Dogs MTV says, like, when people say, how do you pronounce, speaking of pronunciation, how do you pronounce the place out by you, Alan? Is it Holdacrooks or Holdacrooks? What's the proper pronunciation for that? Spot?
It's Holdacrooks, Hulda.
Holdacrooks.
What a change of topic.
Yeah, nice, Mark.
Juice box to crooks, man.
It's like it's hold your crotch. I think that's kind of how you say it.
Yeah, that's
and there goes the jukebox.
Hold your crotch. That's how I pronounce it.
Where is he gonna go right again? I don't want to go there. Edwin Granados from the Trail Dogs is on tonight. What's up, Edwin? Hadn't seen you in a little while. Good to see you. He says, "What's up, guys?" Speaking of pronunciation, how do you say that word? Guys.
I say guys.
I think you just misspell it.
Yeah. Extra enunciation is the word, right? And Bike Rider app. No, you want me to get my traffic update for Southern California? Ladies and gentlemen, traffic sucks. Back to you.
California traffic is still going nowhere.
God, I don't miss that at all. I'm telling you what, coming back into SoCal. Oh, dear God. I used to live here. And I don't know. I have no clue where I was. I just had the directions telling me somewhere to go, and I was there, and it was traffic. And then the best part is that Google will basically pop up on your screen, and it'll say, like, there's a delay. Yeah, I know there's a delay, Google. I can see it for 3 miles in front of me. The traffic's so bad. The traffic's so bad in Southern California. I remember when I lived here that I would literally, I watched the entire show of Breaking Bad sitting in traffic. That's how bad it was. My entire life was wasting before my eyes. And you may think that like watching a TV show while you're driving is dangerous. It's not, because you're not moving anywhere.
Yeah, not on the 5.
No.
Right. The 15 or the 215 or the 91 or any of those.
Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord.
You were smart to come in on a Thursday, because believe it or not, Friday doesn't move even more.
Oh, I know. I was here for like 3 years.
Yeah. Where did you live when you were here, Joe?
I lived outside of Glendale. So just outside of basically
you were up in LA.
Yeah.
A lie.
I lie. I was cool.
lie.
I was, in fact, I got some high level meetings with some studio execs later. It's fine, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, that's where Disney is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them really going for this. That's not gonna. They're not gonna allow me in the park with this mustache.
You got to be on the left side of the screen. Look at this. Look at Tony and I.
So clean.
Timothy Haley says, you must have been on the 405 today. MTB Drew DH. He says, had a buddy who would drive to work and hit cop sighting button every 5 minutes.
On the okay, so there used to be this app called Waze. I remember when Waze came out, everybody's like, "Oh, you should jump on Waze. It actually gives you a better thing, and you can get around." You guys familiar with Waze? And so, I did it once, and it took me through a neighborhood. And what was happening? But a cop just sitting there waiting to pull people over.
Oh,
that's the only time I ever got a ticket using directions. Never happened with Google.
Oh man,
what did you get a ticket for?
Running a stop sign, but it was more like a California stop. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And it was Waze. Okay.
It was Waze.
It's the details, guys. It's the details.
Traffic was so bad in LA that once I used to ride my bike to work, I got pulled over by a cop riding my bike. Literally a police car pulled me over on my bike because I rolled through a stop sign. But here's what happened, okay? There was a car that came up to the stop. I was already kind of coming up to the stop, and the car started going, so I just kept going with the car. I was like, he's my blocker, And then the cop comes up behind me, and he's pissed off that I didn't pull over. I'm like, I'm in a bicycle. You're in a car, stupid. What are you talking about? So he literally pulled me. He's like, why didn't you stop? I was like, you're in a car? I didn't even know you could pull a bike over. Sorry, we're back to mountain biking now. I'm on sorry.
Did you?
Well, it's a good transition back to the bikes.
Yeah, but the problem with being on a bike and getting pulled over is you can't put your hands at 10 and 2.
No.
Can't do that. It's always 9 and 6. And 9 and 3.
I had to downshift to the right gear to make it appropriate and all that. Yeah, it was really... God.
Yeah, well, Trail Dogs is getting us back. They're asking, was that bike an Ibis?
No, riding through LA, no. I had a specialized something or other. It was a hardtailed, crappy bike. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I put a picture on my IG lately. Yeah, it was a bike of some sort. Yeah.
Uncaged MTV says, I've listened to all of Colorado's live streams in traffic.
Well, I apologize in advance. Sorry about that.
Instead of calling it a California stop, the bike rider was calling your stop a Colorado stop.
Pure genius.
Oh, this is fun. Okay, Trail Dog says, Waze tells you to turn after you're supposed to turn. Yeah, is there a delay on that thing? Because it's it's user interfaced, or why would there be that delay?
Never used it again. Couldn't tell you.
No, I use it all the time.
I don't want to talk about Waze anymore.
Yeah.
Good call, Tony. Good call.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So I have a YouTuber question. It's something that for all YouTubers here, do you ever have a video that performs relatively well? It's in your top 10 or top 15 that just doesn't make any sense, but every week it's up there and you're like, man, I really didn't expect that to happen. No? Yeah.
You guys probably have more than I do. The Pacifica vid has always been the staple for my channel because it just constantly gets views because it's whatever. But other than that, no, I don't think I have the sheer density of content that it's the numbers are so small for me that it probably I don't really see it. Tony might see that more than I would, but
I have this logo trail called the Forge and Loop, which I made 2 videos on, and it was one of the first videos made for the channel. And the trail is just a very local maze. You really don't know what the trail goes in between neighborhoods and stuff like that. And that one is always done pretty insane. Just because there's so many people that ride it, it's everybody's favorite beginner ride, and it's an after work ride, so people are constantly searching for it. So I think that one just labels high, just because it's the only real visual aid that people have for figuring it out. Not because it was a great video. I wish it was, but it wasn't. It's just informational. Turn here, turn here. But that's probably one of mine for me. That's one of the surprising ones, I guess.
What's been interesting is since now I've been at the channel for a little over a year now, I'm starting to see the seasonal trends. For example, all of a sudden I noticed my Mr. Toad's Wild Ride video started coming up, and it was because the snow melted in Tahoe and people are trying to fight. So you get a few more extra views. I was like, I've never seen that because I haven't been at the channel long enough to see that. And now I was like, oh, why is that video? Oh yeah, everybody can go ride Tahoe now. So I was like, oh, that was an interesting like little thing I noticed.
I started to see things like that. I don't notice it in views. I don't like look at the analytics enough to notice that, but I notice comments a lot because I answer all them. But like I've been getting a lot of Santa Cruz comments lately, like flow trail comments, and all of a sudden I start to notice that at certain times of the year, like people are like really hitting those videos, and I think that is interesting too. Like summer, you think in Santa Cruz, not the best riding season, but I guess that's the season where people are traveling most, right? For us, it's like rainy season now when you want to hit the hero dirt, but when people have off from work and stuff like that, they're taking their vacations is when they start hitting the outside of SoCal destinations for my videos.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you guys think it's more of like a search term key? Like people are starting to use those areas, they're keying it in?
I guess I was like getting at like, there's some of them that like make sense, right? Like how-to video, trail guides, like, you know, those ones, like they just generally do good. But every now and then I'll have like one that like I didn't expect. It's like none of those. Like I have one that's like, it's an ASMR. It's just like 10 minutes of like riding, no nothing. And it just like regularly is in like the top 10 or top 15. And it's like, I never would have expected that.
Is ASMR the keyword? Is ASMR the keyword maybe that people are like maybe people that don't even mountain bike are like, ooh, I like this sound.
Yeah,
maybe that's a broader
maybe.
audience, than just traditional MTB content or something, huh?
Yeah. It's just it's kind of weird because like if I look at like my top like 15 or so, they just like make sense. It's like a, you know, it's like a trail guide or a reference or a how-to or something like that, and then there's like the ASMR video just constantly up in there. I just find it.
Wow.
Well, now we all know what content we need to focus on now, don't we?
Right.
That'd be very hard for me because I never stop talking, so that'd be very difficult.
Well, part of it is
ASMR in there.
Oh, I like that.
You have to just talk slow.
Or just talk. Just do one where you just talk.
Ask my wife. I never talk quietly, unfortunately.
Is this just you at all times? Honey, you ready for bed?
Exactly. Yeah. It's time to go to bed.
Let's go.
Good morning.
I love that, man.
Adam Mock says Alan is tapping into the fetish realm. Nice work. Bike Rider app says everyone do ASMR now. So silly newbie bike question. What the heck is ASMR? Is that an acronym or?
It's not a bike question at all.
Oh. Okay. ASMR mustache sounds. Now we're getting into.
I don't know
what is actually it's autonomic
sensory
autonomous.
If only we had a computer in front of us that had the ability to search for such things.
No, I'm looking at it. It's just like the first word is weird. It's like autonomous sensory meridian response.
Yeah, I think it's
ASMR.
And the first picture is like a chick licking a microphone. Cool. Way to go, Alan. God, now my wife's really pissed off.
Yeah, there goes my juice boxes. Autonomous sensory meridian.
I'll sleep on the couch tonight, honey.
Here's the definition. ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response, is a calming, pleasurable feeling, often accompanied by a tingling sensation. So why does
I've watched full documentaries on this. It's like nice. It's nice.
It's nice.
It really is.
It's nice sounds.
Like they do these things where they like go like this in a microphone. It's almost like that feeling of like, you know, like a cat purring next to you, but it's in your brain.
Oh,
that's how I'll describe it.
So Alan, how did you get ASMR in your video?
I don't know.
Was it just trail sounds?
It wasn't. I mean, like there's
did you just use ASMR and not know what it is? Like,
I thought I knew what it was.
No, that you obviously don't.
I was shredding. It was awesome.
Yeah,
man, that's really gonna. Maybe this two guys 1 cup video I'm about to put out is gonna be really incredible.
He's going
what viral. Is it? I don't know I know what that means.
Yeah.
That's not the definition I knew of ASMR.
No.
Well, maybe there's multiple.
Obviously.
Tell us your definition, because then now that video is not making sense to me at all.
Yeah, me either.
What's the retention rate on that video, Alan?
It's pretty good.
100%.
The retention rate's pretty good on it.
I don't know, but it keeps going up.
Oh, it keeps rising.
Those other videos better perform because that's stiff competition.
Oh my God, this is some weird nerd ass YouTube stuff right now, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good. So yeah, so Alan he's once he tells us what that'll make more sense what ASMR does. But I'm glad that video performs
Whoa.
in the top 15. So to change the topic, I do have a video. It was like my third or fourth video ever made. I did a review on the Trail Cross shoes by 510. And that always ends up, in the period where it tells you the videos in like a 48-hour period. That is always in there. I have no idea. People must not want to watch me ride. They want to watch me show a shoe.
If it's one thing I've learned in my short YouTube career is that people want bike reviews, part reviews, bike reviews, and part reviews. That's really like, if you did that, you're fine.
Or how-tos.
That's what people really want. Yeah, or how-tos.
Reviews and how-tos. Yeah, they always do well. Reviews, how-tos, and fails.
Yep.
Guides, I think, like Tony's, like your guides always do well.
Yeah, and you were talking about doing an actual guide of the town, which I think is like a really interesting prospect because, it's like always about the trail, but like, what do you do once you get there? I think it's like really a great idea.
Have you seen
I filmed it.
Lone Wolf does that? Like they'll do like the trails or the park, and then they'll also do like stuff around it. They'll kind of like put the two together. Which is kind of like when they did Sky Park, there was like stuff like I didn't know about. They're like, oh, check out this one place that's just like down the road from Sky Park. So that was like a nice combo too. That's a nice model.
Yeah. This video is, I'm editing it right now. This is actually the first time I don't think I'm going to hit Monday. It's the first time in 3 years I won't hit my mark, but I'd rather take the time to edit this properly than force it because I literally went to that location for this one video, filmed an entire 10-hour day, and I have so much footage, drone, 3 GoPros, whatever. It sucks because like I'm trying to figure out like I'm gonna let people down. It's weird, the YouTube brain, where it's like I haven't missed a week, and then you're like in competition with yourself, even though if you talk to other people, they're like, who cares, just make it good. In myself, I'm in competition with my timeline. But in order for me to do this properly and to serve it up the way it needs to be, I need another week. And it's the first time I've appreciated like that long form mentality. That's some doggos.
We're both getting the same dog because he's upstairs and downstairs, so we're in the same house.
No, but you know what I mean? Like it's the first time I've actually, it's off the bike, so it's not just a clip. No. So it's like it's a real like vlog style. Me, my dog, cameras, cars, travel, like 15 different places, and I'm like, there's no way I can get.
Are you able to cut like a 1 minute or 2 minute preview?
Yeah, for sure, and that's what I'm probably gonna do for Monday as like an appetizer. Be like, hey, I'm working on this in order for this to be done right. Like I'll try to do something because I have to do something because it's the first time I'll ever not have a video done for that week. So I haven't done it yet. It's weird because it's like.
I don't have the regular schedule anymore. I never but I will say that there was something to that Downeyville video that I could have got it out earlier, but I decided to play with it more. And as a result, it came out way better. And it was like, it benefited me because I was telling Mark before we started this live stream that one of the things that I really liked about editing that was I was doing it for me. Like I was learning new things. And as a result, it was rewarding for me. And like, basically I'm just investing in my own education. And the fact that people get to watch it is like a secondary thing for me. Like when I released that, I was like, I had so much fun playing with it. It was like really cool.
You just hit the nail on the head for me. I learned so much in the software with this, like combining the drone footage into audio into one clip and editing it like that, where before I was trying to go between two. Like it's just little nuances that I'm learning. But that takes so much time to get to that point where I'm 3 days in and I'm only 8 minutes into the video because every stop is like its own video, right? Like every stop is like that one video I would make per week. So yeah, I just feel like I need to give myself permission to do that with some more times instead of feeling like that. Because I've given myself that pressure every week to have to do it, and that consistency for me matters. But I feel like I'm getting to the point where maybe quality matters more than that.
I think you're I think it's totally
Yeah, I think that pattern of holding yourself to the week like builds that muscle. It makes you more efficient. And yeah, like you're saying, you get to a point where you need to kind of relieve that pressure. Like you don't need the pressure anymore. Like you're building the skills, and it really changes the dynamic when you're editing, when you know you could hit it or you can take another day or two.
When I gave myself permission to like give myself the extra week, I took so much more time and like appreciation for the minute I was editing rather than the 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like this is gonna count.
Enlisted Trailheads is a really good question. I think we could all jump into that's directly related to this.
I'll take this one first because I'm working with a graphic program now because I literally do not have the time to make my own graphics in terms of building call outs on screen like I did in the latest video and some of the transitions and stuff. Like, do I have the technical ability to learn to do that? Yes. Do I have the time? I literally physically do not have the time. So I'm able to punch up the production quality on my video and play around with this stuff without spending 5 hours learning how to build one graphic, which it just takes away from my editing time. So it's like, to me, worth its weight in gold. I just don't have time. I'd rather be filming and doing everything else. So
I 100% am with Joe. I use a software program in Final Cut called Cinema Grade. It's a simplified color correction program. I have plugins that I'd use in transitions. And as much as I want to learn that stuff, I don't have the time to learn that for the next video. And I appreciate the time that goes into doing that. But if I could pay $50 and get that stuff handed to me and figure out a way to edit that in, I just feel like it's a no-brainer for me personally.
Yeah. So I'm totally on the other side because having edited videos like off and on for the last, 10 years, the thing about I think plugins are great. The problem is they're made by somebody else. And if they stop supporting them and then you're trying to update your software and they don't come along for the ride, then you're SOL. And your plugins are going to stop working. And then it's just, they're also kind of, after you've been using them for a while, if they're not updating and not working with your software updates, like as Final Cut updates or Premiere updates, if the plugins don't update with them, they will start bugging out and causing issues. So they're good up front, but they can cause problems. Now, the nuanced answer though is things like LUTs, they're just lookup tables. They're just values. So they're like pretty straightforward and they're usually not going to break. So they're pretty good. Some of the other stuff that does more complex stuff, you have to know that you are kind of taking that risk and setting into that. So they do save time now. In the color grading, it's nice when you can kind of do that quickly. But the graphics applications are the ones that are usually kind of like heavy on like kind of being dependent on it. Like one of the things I used all the time, the company literally just stopped supporting. They decided like not to support anymore. They just went away. And so like all that stuff I lost and I kind of had to like redo a whole bunch of stuff. But fortunately, like I kind of had a lot of experience. The other thing though is a lot of the applications, they allow you to take work that you've done. Like if you do your own color grading or whatnot, they have stuff built into them where you can save your own templates or your own presets and stuff like that. And that's kind of nice because you do have some upfront labor going into that, but then you can save that and reuse it. And so now you're leveraging the stuff that you did, and you've also built more experience so that you can like continue building more of them. So I think like kind of depends on how far down into it you want to go, or if you just want to, if you're changing graphics applications all the time, or changing plugins all the time, it's probably less of a thing because you're not like a long-term dependent on it.
Yeah.
So I've had that happen. I've had a plugin break, and it took me a full day to figure out that the reason that it wasn't rendering was because of that. But I will say this in devil's advocate and again an argument for it is that that's the only time it's ever happened in the last year. And if that's the only time I've ever had a problem, it's been worth it for me. You know, like I don't know Adobe, I don't know Emotion, I don't know Apple Motion, I don't know how to build those things. So for me, getting handed that, and once in a while I have a glitch, I think for me it has been worth it. I do the same thing though. I build my little personal LUTs and things like that for the GoPro clips. But for some of the times when I film, like this last video I did, where I'm just constantly in a different surrounding and different background with lighting, those pre-built LUTs have worked really well because I can put like a gnarly one on it, like really one that looks crazy, turn it all the way down, and it looks just really nice. So I just feel like I think it's personal preference with this question, right? Because Alan, you have your own, and I have like something that I have a go-to where it just speeds up my process, and I'm finding what I want. Yeah, I think it's just experimenting. You got to find your own little nuance, right?
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, in my situation, it literally is that. Like, I'm at work all day. I pick up the kids from school or whatever. I get them home. I can't start editing until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I got 2 hours in me, maybe an hour and a half sometimes before you're just mentally exhausted by the end of the day. And it's like, man, I can't.
Right.
Like, I can put 2 to 3 hours in, and then my mind starts to shut down. And some nights I got to do some other live streaming stuff, and some other nights I got this. So it's like, man, just fitting it in. It's like, do I have time to build graphics? Absolutely not. When I become a multi-million-dollar YouTuber, yeah, probably then. But for now, like, it was a huge help.
I'll take the plugins.
But I mean, motion graphics is a whole different game, right? Like the fancy like titles and stuff like that, like the big movie title you had at the beginning of Downeyville. Like, I'm not suggesting anybody goes and builds like a freaking 3D one with like lighting and all that kind of stuff.
I think that's a Final Cut. I think that's just like a
no, but like, and if you tried to build that yourself, I'm not suggesting that. But I think just for for the person who's just like kind of getting started or just getting into it, it's like also if you're like some of us are like making money doing this stuff, right? But it's like if you're already in the red because you've bought cameras and whatnot, like I always tell people like right? And I'm always like, well, do you need to spend the money on it? If do you need the fancy title? Do you need that, or can you just like do a simple color grade and save the $50 or whatever it is, and like put that towards buying a bike park pass or gas in your truck to get you to the trail? That's kind of where my head's at with a lot of that stuff.
No, it's kind of similar though if you're buying camera gear. I mean, camera gear is expensive, right? It's like plugins, camera gear, all this extra stuff is just adding to your video. I don't know. I don't see the difference.
At the end of the day, you're still going to have to learn how to make a good video. Like, it's like all the gear in the world's not going to help you if you don't know how to structure it. Like, but those all complement once you know how to do it. Or maybe like for me, when I got this Sony, like it made me want to go shoot. Like that was kind of a fun experience because I remember what it was like to like get the right shot and get the right frame and do the slow-mo 4K 120. And like, then it was like playing with a new toy. And like, I still love shooting with this thing. So that, to a certain degree, like amped up my desire to shoot videos. Like it was really kind of a cool experience. So it's kind of different, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I
think it's a balance.
I'll use a software system called Canva, which is easy for me to use. It's a lot of stuff that's like provided to me, like Tony and Joe was saying. And so far it's been good because once I create something, I can save it. I could download it onto my computer and have it for forever and use it for certain things. But I am still learning. But that definitely helps me get a little more creative than I normally would.
Wait, is that an online application?
Yeah, it's called Canva. And there's a free version, there's a pro version, and the pro version really doesn't break the bank too much. But Canva, and it also can help with thumbnails. So for me, we're talking about YouTube thumbnails earlier and how difficult they could be. But if you hit YouTube thumbnail in Canva, it'll set you all up the right way. It even offers you templates and everything else. So you could just like slide pictures in and create different fonts. So it makes it really easy. But still the idea is there. You have to like figure out what people are going to hopefully click upon.
Yeah. I'm going to be a nerd now and say if you're a YouTuber and you're doing thumbnails, you have to learn Photoshop.
Yeah, I will not lie. I'm still using GIMP, but I gotta learn Photoshop. So I may get to that.
I forced myself. Yeah, I've gone to the point where I was so like freaked out by it, and then it's like anything else. Like the same way you start editing, you just get familiar with that software, and then now I'm like, oh my god, I can actually. Here's the weird thing. Look, when I started watching like how to use Photoshop, how to use Final Cut, all that stuff, all those videos, YouTube videos, went way over my head. It was like a different language. After a few months of learning them, you start listening to them, and you're like, oh my god, I get it. You know what I mean? Now Alan's shaking his head. I'm sure he understands. Like you start to understand this language of the way it works, and you just like when you watch that video again a few months later, it's like. Boom. Okay. All these things are making sense now. And it's just because you've gotten into their land when you know like a little bit about it. I don't know. I'm an advocate for that stuff. Like I'm all for plugins and all that stuff. But like if if you can get the bare stuff like Photoshop and learning the software program, I feel like that's like just opening up so much energy and learning for how much there is. Because I just, like Alan knows, I just started using Final Cut like last year. And I was using iMovie for all my videos and I had no idea what I was doing. And now I'm like, oh my God, how the frick did I do that on iMovie? I can't believe I used to do that. And it's just like, anyway, I'm maybe rambling a little bit, but like, I really love the process of not only being a YouTuber, but filming, but like, I feel like I've learned so much about video editing, telling the story and what matters. The details matter most, I don't know about most, but like as much as the story sometimes. Like if you can tell that great story and have the editing in the background to like back it up, I feel like as much as I'm still learning, the video I'm going to make this week compared to a year ago, 100 times better. And I hope that keeps progressing. And that's my motivation, is to just keep learning because I love it.
You know, it's a great point you bring up, because I was telling Mark, the last video I made a year ago was Downeyville. And if you go look at the Downeyville from a year ago and the Downeyville that I just dropped, it's exponentially different, right? And so it's like, it's self-taught like we all are, I think. For the most part, we ask for tips here and there, but it's like you get an idea in your head. You're like, how can I execute it? You go look it up, you do it, and then you learn how to do it. And then the next time you're editing a video, it's easier. Like for an example, like the changing of speeds. When I'm shooting at 4K 120, then I can maybe shoot a fast segment, slow it down, like that bank in speed in a shot, and like timing it to the music has all been something over the last couple of videos I've kind of perfected and all those things. And it's like, because I took the time to sit down and go, how do you do that? And then I Googled it or whatever. And then now it's like, it's second nature. So exactly what you're talking about with Photoshop and everything else, it's just reactionary now. You know how to do it. It's great.
Joe, when do you write your script?
I don't. That's the secret. You guys want to know the secret? I don't write a script.
Crazy. I don't either, Joe. I don't either, man.
Yeah, here's what I've discovered, and I had to come to terms with this at some point, is that my specialty is my improvisational ability. So now I just stand up, I put the mic right in front of me, and I get involved in the video. And then I just, like with this latest video, I just do it. But one of these days I'm going to perfect the whole script writing thing. But for now,
I don't think that you have to. Like if you're good at doing it off the cuff, that's my style too. Like I made this travel guide video where I just had the camera in front of me all day. And then when I got back and I'm editing now, I'll leave blank spots where I just turn the mic on and talk to the footage, and it just works. Like given there are parts of that where I write a script to, like, okay, I'm at Bubblegum Alley in San Luis Obispo. I need to know some information here. I'm going to write it out so it's more my voice. But like, you know, as far as just being in the video and talking, like I feel like if you have the story in your head, you can talk to it, right?
Yeah.
It just, I mean, like anything else, this is all personal preference. Like I just feel like it's to each person's style. There's no right or wrong way. I feel like me and Joe are connecting on like that realm too, where I could totally tell your personality comes out off the cuff, and that's kind of like where I'm like, oh, I get that. Like he's just like in there, like this is what he thinks at the moment, you know?
Yeah, I think I tried to make one video where I sat down and the script just like troubled me so much, like the idea of like trying to, like my brain's like, and it's a muscle that I need to flex. So I'm trying to get better at it, but like it really like it ruffled my feathers. I was just kind of like really hung up on it, and it was yeah, I was overthinking it. It was holding back the video, and I just stood up one day and turned on the mic, and I just went, and I was like, well, that's pretty good. Yeah. Like that's not bad. And then like I've been trying to get better at that, but it's yeah.
Well, the cool thing about going off the cuff too is that you could just go, and then if you screw it up, you just go again, and you just edit that, right? But it sounds for me, it's always sounded more natural when I do that rather than reading a thought that I wrote down previously. If I'm just like, I don't know. It's just everybody's style is different, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I still think it'd be interesting if we had a video where we all had the same footage and we all had to make a video of it and then see what each person's video was like. Like, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, that would be fun, actually. I've seen that actually done on YouTube before with competitions. Like, you have this footage, do it. Like, what are you going to do, you know?
That'd be pretty fun.
Go out. Yeah.
Who used all the crayons? Alan,
what's happening?
Do you use scripts at all?
Yeah, for most of them. It just helps me kind of like, I'm always thinking about, for me, it's as you can already tell from like here, like I tend to ramble and just kind of go all over the place. And I'm always thinking about the audience, and I always want to like get them like to the information as cleanly as possible, and also make the story as clean as possible. So but I don't write the script ahead of time. Like that's like I usually am doing like Brian, like BK talks about, he's kind of on a fishing trip when he goes riding, right? And he's just like filming, and that's pretty much how I do. I just like use the camera to cast a net, and then I like review it afterwards. And then if there's a story there, like I have tons of footage that I've never used because there's no story from that day. But if I have a story from a day, then I'll usually just kind of like feel it out, and then I'll write that story. And a lot of times, because I'm like doing mostly POV footage, I need something to kind of tie everything together. I'm also kind of forgetful, so I will totally forget about some point I wanted to make. So if I write it down, I do that. Because I think it
works really well. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The only time I really do like off the cuff is when I'm doing the Trailhead series, where I'm just like talking through a trail and I'm saying, okay, we're going to pause it here and this is what you do here and that sort of thing. Then I'll kind of like talk through theirs because it's really focused. But yeah, I usually kind of have to write it down.
Got a question here from the Bike Rider app. He says, what's everyone's goal with their channel and what's your day job? Calarado, you want to take that one first?
Sure. I think most people know at this point my day job is I'm a broadcast engineer. So I work in radio. I used to work in TV when I lived in Colorado. I build radio stations, facilities, studios, transmitter sites, stuff like that. And it's good. It's a good creative outlet when I do a big projects. But the day-to-day sometimes is mildly boring, but that's fine because it's just not challenging, right? It's one of the things that's so rewarding about doing this is it's a personal challenge every time I make a video or every time I set up an elaborate live stream at a brewery or something like this. Like there's a challenge to that because I've never done it before and I want to figure out how to do it and I want to get better at it. And so it's like this constant engagement there where like, you know, like doing the stuff I've been doing for 10 plus years is like, you know, it's fine, it's fun, it's good, but it's not challenging sometimes, right? So in terms of goals for the channel, I mean, I don't know, like for so long it's been a struggle just to scrape your way to enough people to even know who the hell you are. Like, so I think like to like even think beyond that sometimes is hard because it's like just scrounging. Some videos are like, oh, I got 3 subscribers from that. Or like, it's just constant scraping and clawing out of a pit, you know? But I mean, in the long term, I think it'd be amazing to have some sort of way to do it full time. I mean, hosting some sort of show, doing something, there's gotta be something that appeases to my talent in some way or another. So one way or another, I'll make something happen.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Alan, how about you?
Day job, software designer and developer. Just work for a software company doing that. And it does require like a whole bunch of creative energy during the day, like just solving design and development problems. But it's not like pure creativity, you know, like you get out of like making music or making videos. But as far as like my goals for the channel, like I just want to continue being a resource as much as I can. I know that a lot of the times I get comments that people are like, when they see my content, it makes them want to go ride, or it makes them see that they can do it. And that's really kind of where like the whole like catchphrases I have at the beginning of the video of like, if I can have a ride on a bike, so can you. And I also just kind of want to keep representing like a person of color, a BIPOC person in the mountain bike community. I think we're very underrepresented, like in the whole community, in the industry, and in racing. And I do kind of hear from people, especially on the trail as well, of like people are like they're stoked to see, you know, somebody that's out there representing. Real quick, I wanted to say, Joe, your live stream stuff that you were doing with NorCal in the bar, I was like tripping out, like how good that was, the ability to kind of control everything that was going on, all the cameras, the levels, while still running it. That was really cool. And like you were saying, like if you were to host a show or something like that, like you got that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that was something that came together last minute, and I ordered the gear to make it happen, and a lot of setup time involved, and it worked really well. And now that's translated into the fireside chats I do. So we're having live guests sit by the fire and just talk locally. It's super cool. And so all those skills. Now I came into his house, to Mark's house, and had this set up in 20 minutes. And so it's, involved, but it's the same thing of like developing a skill and using it enough to where it's easy for you, right? And that's kind of like what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's amazing.
And my desire to like be a resource, I think in general, I think when I started seeing your content come out, right? Because like I just was doing POV footage, like, I rode a trail. And then like I started seeing your stuff come out, and it was like, oh, he's putting out stuff that people can actually use. That's actually going to like get you to a place and get you on the trail and give you a full loop. And that's kind of like, that's really kind of what triggered me into that, I think.
Yeah, that's a good segue into Tony. I before I knew Tony, I used your video that you made on Sedona. You did the loop around Easy Breezy through Slim Shady. And the first time I went to Sedona, I watched that video, and then I took off solo, and I felt confident enough to complete that lap. So that was cool. And Tony, what about you? Oh, I think you're muted.
Go on, unmute.
My name is Tony, and they still muted.
Does the earbuds die? No, he's still there.
We
lost his audio.
I'll stall for you, Tony. There he is. 1 second, he says.
My AirPods are dead.
Never go with wireless anything.
Well, when he's getting that on, I'll just say
Is it back? Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
Oh wow. Okay. So what do I do? I went to Carl's Jr. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
We're talking about Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on fries. That's not funny. I actually used to work on fries. What was the question? Sorry, this threw me off a lot.
Yeah, no. So
I don't know. This looks so stupid. Look at this.
You got the new cool piercings, dude. Bike Rider Rap is asking, what's everyone's goal with their channel, and what is your
So yeah, a lot of people that watch my channel know my little story. I'll do the quick version. I got laid off in COVID. The channel was taking off, and so for this last year-ish, I've been taking the channel on full time and putting my energy into that. And it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of learning. For me, it's just like this glamorous life of just doing YouTube full time. It's awesome, but it's also like, dude, you're in charge of your own life. Like, you have no one else managing your life. You are easily, like, for me, it's like, it's easy to get off track. And I did, especially during COVID. Can you guys hear me properly? Because this sounds crazy to me.
We got you.
Good. You're good.
Okay. It just was like, so I had to catch myself, right? Like, just being in charge of yourself, doing videos every week, I started to get, I wouldn't use the term lazy, but like I would use the term of like, hey, like, it's easy to get caught in routines that are unhealthy. So for me, one of the things is like, I am drinking a beer right now, but it's a special occasion. I've given myself rules behind it. I started drinking beer too much. As far as money goes, the channel does okay. But, it's like one of those things where it's like, it always sounds better as a dream than when you actually are doing any job. It's like, okay, there's always the benefits you look at, but then there's always like, hey, I'm not making enough money. I'm not doing good enough. And then you're...
Whoa. Tony is part robot.
He is a robot, apparently.
Part robot.
Holy hell, the truth is out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, released here on the Segment Podcast, this is YouTube Gold. Hey, this could be a good segue while Tony's getting his earbuds switched out. I do want to say we have another special guest who just jumped on the podcast. He can only be here for a little bit. This is going to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the Vice President of Sales for Spy Optic, and I think he wants to say something to Mr. CaliradoKid. Curtis, are you there?
Yeah, boys.
Wow, we have discovered someone with a mustache better than mine. Well, other than MTB Allen.
Oh my gosh, I saw your mustache. I was jealous, but I quickly grew one.
Well played, sir.
For the folks who don't know Curtis, Curtis is also a local mountain biker. He completely rips, he shreds, he has a good time. He's all about the community of mountain biking, wants to grow it. And I sent Curtis over CaliradoKid's channel earlier today. And Curtis, I'll let you take it from there.
I spy with my little eye a box.
There.
Yeah, CaliradoKid, man, your attitude, the comedic value you bring to the community is epic. We're just riding bikes. We're just a bunch of grown kids playing bikes every day, and we got to take it lighthearted. And I appreciate that. I think the community needs more of that. And Mark hit me up to see if we could welcome you to the family, and with honors, my man. So we'll connect offline, but I got this waiting for you to send out your way.
Baby.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And obviously, I am not a YouTuber. I'm sitting outside because inside my house is loud with dogs and kids and all that good stuff. But I wanted to jump on. So, Mark, thank you for the opportunity. CaliradoKid, welcome to the club. And MTB Alan, outsider, you guys are amazing. It's been so fun listening. So, well done, team.
Dude, Curtis, much appreciated, man. Let's talk. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Yeah, shout out Trail Dogs.
Yeah,
Joey,
Trail Dogs.
Woo.
Thank you, Curtis. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
Look at this, guys. The camera paid off.
Hey.
CaliradoKid with his first support.
I like it. Thank
Congrats,
you, man.
bro.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you for
Spy.
setting that up,
Welcome to
Mark.
the Spy
Thank you.
family, man. That is awesome. Thank you, Curtis. If you're still backstage, thank you. I know you got a lot of things. You got family night tonight. Vice President of Sales for Spy Optic, ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Alice, welcoming CaliradoKid. And Tony, yes, we did hear the audio. We got you on there.
Good.
Oh, you sound great.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going kind of on a tangent, but it's just, I took this on as my day job, and I'm still doing it, and I'm trying to see how long I can make it happen. But I guess I was just trying to talk about the reality behind doing this full time versus having a stable job. Like having that stable job is a guaranteed paycheck every single week versus doing something on your own, like any small business where it's like you're building a brand, you're building a community, and you're building your own lifestyle through the channel like we are, but you have to pay the bills. So it's a dream of mine I'm trying to make work, and it's in process, I guess you could say right now.
And it's such a great point you make, because it's like the dream is to go full time, but then you realize as soon as you do, now that when a video doesn't do well, it hurts you. Like it's not like right now I could write it off and say, it was a stupid video. Nobody now there's a little bit more pressure involved. Right. You're actually counting on it to provide income. It's like, man, that's you don't think of that side of things. You think how glamorous it is that you can govern your own time, but then you're set. You gotta get to it.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, it becomes whether you like it or not, it is your job. And the balance is trying to find that fun and not make it feel like a work, even though it is work. There's that weird mentality of work is supposed to be making pleasure your work, and that's the dream. But sometimes those two things do get tied together because you need to make this work. Whatever that tangent is, but it's just part of life.
It's funny because sometimes on a Sunday or on the weekend when we're weekend warriors, we say we're not going to go hard today because I got to go to work on Monday, or I can't get hurt. I can't afford to get hurt because I need to go to work on Monday. And, Tony, when you were talking about it earlier, when you were saying I'm trying to meet this deadline on Monday, it must really be different for you when you're trying to make these schedules and hit these deadlines and not get injured and, be able to tell the story the right way, because this is your bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, Trail Dogs, he just said, I just signed up for your Patreon. That's amazing. I mean, that's part of what's helped me pay the bills. But what you just said is it's part of what I've been going through for the last few months. Is I had a couple of bad crashes, a couple of injuries that's kept me off the bike. So I'm just trying to be honest, making videos about that. But that's not for everybody, right? So that's taken time off of me making the content I want to make, and I'm making the content I'm making in the moment, and I'm just being honest. So me talking about this right now is part of that, right? So next week I'm going to be going to Park City to Utah. I'm going to be hitting up Bryan Head Bike Park, Deer Valley, a lot of Wasatch Trails. So I'm going to be going on a 2.5 week bike trip, and then after that I'm going to be going to Downeyville. So there's a lot of stuff upcoming this summer, and it's as awesome as that sounds, that does come into question, how much do I want to push myself on these trails, because I don't want to have injuries, because I want to make content. So, and that just, it's something I never thought about before this year. And it's something I'm still grappling with, because growing up as a skater, I always just want to let's go. And now I'm trying to have to be like smarter about things. Like, hey, if you do this feature and it doesn't go well, you got a whole trip ahead of you in Utah that you have lined up that you might not be able to ride for. So it's like, it's a gamble. And it's just something that's new to me that I'm trying to figure out along the way, I guess you could say. I don't want to not have fun and progress and push myself, but I have to be smart about it, you know?
We call it the old BKXC philosophy, right? Don't get injured and you're going to produce content until the world's end. It's like, 100%.
That's so I think Alan told me that before. Like, what? So his philosophy is what? It's like that's kind of how he looks at it, right? Like he goes to like 70% or 80% or something like that. How is it?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's just like very conscious about not getting injured, because if he's injured, he can't make the videos and he can't produce content, and then his channel's like, so it's like, just be smart about it, you know? Like it's all you can do. I hold back sometimes for sure, because I'm like, I do not want to get injured. I got a family and stuff. I'm like, if I get injured, like I'm out like a dummy for like 2 months or something, that's not good. Like I have to think about that too. It's not just the videos, it's other stuff. So
then again, like, hey, we're doing something dangerous. It just might happen anyway. You know?
No, it's true. And that stuff, but it's not like somebody's like, oh, you never hit a double before? Just try it once. Like, I'm like, let me look at it. Let me consider it. Let me take my time. I'm not like, oh, sick, bro.
Just send it.
Got to be conscious. Know my limits.
Yeah.
You want to be conscious. You want to be conscious before and after you do the feature.
Yeah, like literally watching your crash video, Tony, the one where you went unconscious, is like terrifying. Like the sounds that you were making was terrifying.
I hated it. I mean, I edited that thing. I had to watch that 1,000 times. Traumatizing, but like, so that's one of the things I go to. It's like, dude, like that, all that wasn't even like something that took my confidence away from other rides. It was just like me being stupid. It was the end of a 3-hour ride. I was hungry, and I was just like, oh, I'm just going to go up here and, dude, way too fast at something stupid, and just didn't, like you said, just didn't think about it. And that's the thing. Like, I have to be, and you and all of us have to be conscious about all the decisions we make before we do something stupid. And that was me being like stupid. That was all it was. It wasn't a skill thing. It wasn't like I just did the jump wrong. It was just like me being dumb and knocked myself out. It's crazy. It was crazy about that video that the GoPro landed in a way where it flipped up and faced my pointed at my face.
Right.
Like, I can't believe that worked out like that. I mean, that's the only benefit to it. Like, you could see me snoring. I was literally like knocked out, and then immediately that's what my wife has to deal with. When immediately when I'm asleep, like I just started snoring unconsciously. Just like, oh my god, dude, that's how quick it is.
Tony, you just opened up the latest CaliradoKid mountain bike conspiracy. Tony from The Outsider staged the whole crash. The GoPro perfectly angled? I think not.
Right. To his face perfectly.
How did that happen?
YouTube gold.
The crazy thing is, I don't remember anything except for when I was in the air, and I just remember thinking, I want the bike as far away from me as I can, and then I woke up. And I was like, phew. I don't know if you guys have ever been knocked out, but I didn't know where I was. I was angry. I was mad. You know, like all those things that people say are true. Like, you just like get away. Everyone.
Yeah.
What's, you know.
Yeah. Wasn't that guy who first was on scene a firefighter off duty? And he was like, hey, buddy, do you know where you are? And you're like, San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
Like, you say, like, get away from
San Louis.
San Louis.
He's like, he's saying it. He's saying it weird.
You're really screwed up.
Yeah, take him in, fellas. San Luis.
Well, if you watch the video, I don't think I put it in the video. He asked me where I lived, and I think I said Huntington Beach. I didn't put that in there because I was just like thinking of California towns, and I was just so still out there. And he's just like, oh, okay. Man.
So speaking of going places, like you were talking about earlier on the trips that you have to go to and things you have to think about in order to make it through your trips, UO SoCal was asking who here is going to be going to the Sedona MTB Fest out in November. Wow.
Everybody.
100%. Yeah. If you're not there, where are you? Is that what they say? Did I sound convincing? If you're not there, where are you? No.
It just sounds like too much damn fun, man. How can I miss it?
Totally. No, I've never been. Alan and Tony, you guys have been.
I haven't been to the festival, but I've been to Sedona quite a bit.
Gotcha. So Alan's been you're the only veteran that's been to the MTB Sedona Fest, right?
It was Yeah, it was weird because you're just surrounded by people who are into mountain biking, and everybody's there. And I don't know, and the riding is great. Like we all know, the riding is great. But it's just so easy to like connect up with somebody and go for a ride or have a. I mean, I guess to kind of sum it up, like when I left, I felt emotional. I was like, it was like I was leaving family. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah. And wasn't the timing for you kind of? It was when the pandemic was really starting to take off, right?
Just about to, yeah.
Yeah.
Just about to. I remember that because I was down in Arizona for spring training at the time. And I remember the guy who runs Spartan Rides, he was up there doing the thing for the Mountain Bike Fest. And I was down in Phoenix doing the spring training. And we were in the broadcast booth for the A's training. And one day we went down to the locker room and we were doing interviews and stuff. And that night they basically sent out a press release saying no more interviews in the press room, no more coming down to the locker room, because that's when it just started going.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember like everybody was like Paul the punter was like, like everything was like elbows, and it was like we would talk about like, COVID bumps, and we'd like bump elbows, and like Shane Crashing Dad was like the opposite. He was like giving everybody hugs, and like, we all look back on it and we were like, yeah. But yeah, it was like right, like that was the last event. I think that kind of like I think that turned it up a little bit too. Like once that finished. Once that festival finished, and then everything shut down. Like I remember like getting back to California and everything like shutting down.
Yeah.
Wow. One thing I'm really looking forward to is all the cool stories I hear about the Tasco tent. Like, is that just they do it right? They've got the foot down competitions. They got the free beer.
Yeah. They're just like a cultural center, I guess, kind of, like I guess like they can tell the story, but like I think Nate was talking about how like the one year it was like super, like it was raining a lot and it was cold, and they just kind of like made it a place that everybody could hang out. But yeah, and that kind of
Shane
like
gave everyone hugs.
Yeah, and Shane,
it's cold. I'll take a hug.
yeah.
This is awesome. All the folks in the chat are saying that they're going. Adam Mox in. UO SoCal's been there 4 years in a row. Holy cow. Trail Dogs are going to be there. MTB Raging is going to be there. This is going to be the place to be.
Your guys' drive time from here is pretty short compared to what I've got. But it's like, dude, even then, take into consideration the sport that we live in. It's like, if you're only riding local all the time, you're doing it wrong because you're 8 hours away from an incredible trail you've never ridden before. And that's nothing. Gas money is like whatever. I'm telling you, go somewhere you've never been before. Like when I've gone to Colorado, it's mind-boggling. I've ridden Park City. I've ridden some parts of Utah. And there's so much I haven't seen. Like that short drive, even if it's 10 hours, is like, it's worth it, man. Get out of your zones.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
It's interesting too because I come from skating, and you go to different cities, and it's still skating. It's like ledge, stairs, this, that. But in mountain biking, you literally get really different terrain. You're going from red rocks to hero dirt to just straight up dust. To like it's almost like going to different planets. Like different states are different planets in mountain biking.
Yeah.
So that's such a never truer statement than it comes to what we do.
And it also like really gives you more confidence in your skills. When you go from riding like Laguna and Aliso in Southern California, and then you go ride in Sedona, and everything looks totally different, but your bike handling skills and everything still applies. And then you learn a couple of new skills when you're riding that terrain. It's like, it feels really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I did that major road trip to Colorado, I came back to California a different rider entirely. Like riding Grand Junction, riding Fruita, riding Crested Butte, riding all these places, I came back a totally different rider. It completely evolved me as a rider. It's just so much better. And it's like, dude, all it took was a road trip,
Yeah.
A quick note on Sedona. Somebody mentioned in the comments to buy tickets now. They will sell out. You don't need tickets to go. You can go to the festival. You can hang out. You can do everything, but you can't use the shuttles and you can't demo bikes. So if you're taking your own bike and you just want to go and hang out in the mountain bike culture and go ride amazing trails all right there, you don't need to buy a ticket. I mean, if you don't get a ticket though, I would suggest making a donation to one of the local trail advocacy groups around there, because a lot of the money from those tickets do go to the local trails. So yeah, if they sell out and you can't buy them, you can still go. but then do donate to those local
And a good
causes.
way to do that too, since I've been going, I've learned is if you stay in a hotel, they will have a spot a lot of the times for you to donate on the sheet you do to sign in. So if you throw $10 down or anything like that, it goes right there, and that's super simple.
Wow, that's cool.
So cool.
I noticed the last time I was in Sedona, if you use Trail Forks, there's a donate to the local association button on there as well. So that's really cool. But Alan, thank you for bringing that up, because that was a question that I had. I didn't know if I needed tickets. I was talking with Nate over at Tasco, and they were like, you can get in fine. You know, you're not going to need tickets. But then people were saying, if it sells out, then what do you do? So the tickets are for just the shuttles, bike rentals. But as far as getting in, listening to music, socializing with everybody, that is walk in like a park.
Yeah.
Cool. That is great to know. I did not know that.
My favorite thing at the festival, this is going to sound silly, but my favorite thing at the festival is the bike valet.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about this. You just check your bike and walk away, yeah?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there's just like a place where you just like can check your bike in, and like if you're like when I was there, a lot of times I would just drive my truck there and park, and I'd have my bike in the truck, but I didn't want to leave it in the truck. So you could leave it in the bike valet, and not have to like carry your bike around the whole time.
You have to buy a ticket for that?
I think it was free.
Oh,
I think it was. I think so. I don't remember paying for it. They just give you like a ticket. But
that's cool.
Hey, we should do a video where we get fake valet jackets and then we just steal everyone's bikes.
That would be awesome.
Wait a minute, I know you.
Start parking like the really expensive e-bikes up front, like a valet. Like, this is a Lamborghini. This is going to go up in the front.
That would be a pretty funny video where we just double as valets and see if anybody recognizes us.
Right. That'd be the best. Well, we should shoot something. What do you guys think when we're there? I mean,
I'm going to be shooting a ton of shit, of course.
Dude,
yeah.
I've
actually considered, and people have tried to talk me out of this, but I do kind of want to bring my full live stream setup and do some live streaming. But the problem is I've realized two things. Here was the original idea. If I could get like a suite with a balcony and have a backdrop of the mountains, and do a live broadcast like that, that'd be super rad. But then you realize it's going to be dark probably. In November, it's going to be dark by that time. So you'd have a night shot. It wouldn't work very well. But if I had that full setup that I had at the brewery and I could broadcast live from somewhere over there, dude.
What was the hotel that Paul and Shane stayed at? Because they did it there. It was like I forgot what we can ask them, but like they did a live stream from there, and the lighting wasn't great, but it worked out. They like hooked them up with some outlets and stuff like that.
Okay. I'm going to be staying at a place called the Red Agave that's putting me up, and they've worked with me before. I'm sure there's like a huge area there.
Do they have fire pits?
With fire pits. They have a fire pit, and it's the access point to Slim Shady Trail. So
right on the access point.
I could reach out to them and dude, we could talk offline, but I could ask.
Let's talk about it, because this could be the fireside chat and do full day recaps and have everybody come on and just talk about their experience during the day. I think people are trying to convince me I'll be too tired by the end of the day, but I'm not sure. I think it'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
That'll be a good time. That'll be a good time. Yeah. Tony, I'm staying close to you, but there's also going to be a wedding party there. So wedding crashing for Alan.
Whoa.
Right? And then
are you staying at the Red Agave as well?
I couldn't get in because the wedding party booked up all the rooms, but I did get a bed and breakfast literally like a couple buildings over from you on the same side of Slim Shady. So
I'm at like an Airbnb for the first 2 nights and then moving over to Red Agave for the last couple. I'll be there. I'm going to be there from like Thursday to Wednesday. So I'll be there after the festival too, because I want to get a couple extra days in there when it's not so crazy.
Sweet.
Alan, this is from Mountain Bikes and Jeeps. Was it the Skyrock Inn? That was the place. Yeah. I looked at that hotel. It is literally right by the Bike Fest, and it's a nice hotel with beautiful scenic shots of the mountains right there.
I totally blew it because I was going to book it one day and I didn't. And it was like $300 or something a night. And then the next time I looked, it was like $600 a night. I was like, I slept on it.
Oof.
So whatever it was, it skyrocketed. And that's why I just booked an Airbnb like 3 blocks away or something, which is, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have done that. I kind of wanted to be right there.
It skyrocketed, huh?
Hey-oh, skyrocketed.
ASMR or whatever.
Trail Dogs, I may hit you up about that, because if we can get a live streaming setup that I can set up in the morning and just come and walk in and hit go, it may be possible.
Can I just get a consensus here? How many trail dogs are there?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
There's 5.
Jeez.
Holy hell!
Right? There's.
How do you know who you're talking to at any point?
How many edit the videos? Is there just one guy, or are they just passing this thing around?
I think there's 3 out of 3. Well, I'll let them answer, but I know
one does the edit, one does the sound, one does the title.
Yeah, Mark, you need to
writing.
have them on your thing and ask them these questions, please.
Yeah,
because there's like a smorgasbord of these guys. They're like a delicatessen. Everybody's doing their own thing, and they're all great, but they just don't know who does the stuff.
Yeah. Trail dogs, go ahead and type that in if it's either Aaron or Isaiah or Edwin, whoever, or Nate, whoever is on there, or Austin.
By the way, as a side note, Mark, by the way, when I was listening to your podcast on the way down from Northern California as I was driving, if you guys didn't hear, I was driving all the way down here. You referred to everyone around here in a flock, and I'm like, what, was Wolfpack taken, or what happened exactly? Flock sounds very tame. Like, couldn't you come up with something badass like flock? I'm just all right.
Yeah, no, that's Adam Mock. Adam Mock's he calls his squad the flock. He's got an affinity for birds, and that's what he calls his flock because they all kind of fly together.
All right, I'm gonna rename it. Just call them the Razorbacks from now on, or something. All right, or not the butterflies, but yeah, all right, fair enough.
The Falcons. Well, guys, we're about 141 into the live stream. Is there? We talked about traveling, Sedona, crashes. Anything that we're leaving out? YouTubing? Anything that we want to add?
One final thing I want to mention about these two gentlemen down below. Like, as a starting YouTuber, I appreciated your guys' professionalism, and you guys provided a resource for a beginning YouTuber. Like, watching what you guys were doing gave a great baseline and understanding how it should work. So it was like, I just want to let you guys know that, because you guys have been at it longer than I have by far, and it was really useful to go watch what you guys were doing and being like, well, that's how you should do it. So there you go.
Thanks, bud.
Very nice, buddy.
Yeah. I definitely want to add to that. You know, this podcast started because of MTB Alan. So special thank you to MTB Alan. He also, by an email that went into his junk mail, happened to check it on YouTube and saw it in there and responded to me and was one of my first guests on my show. Yeah. And so without Alan, I wouldn't have a show, nor would I have a podcast. So special thank you to Alan. And then Tony and I became friends and shot that video with Tony, and Tony helped push me over 1,000. So big thank you to both of you guys.
Aw.
Cool.
Love you guys.
So about Waze, you know, so I
oh God.
All right, everybody. If nobody has any final questions for my celebrity guests tonight,
okay, don't sign off yet, Mark. You keep talking, but don't sign off yet.
You got it. We will go ahead and start to shut this down. Alan.
Here we go.
There he is.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
We'll see you on the next one.
We wanted to say one thing before you go. We wanted to tell you guys.
See you later, Tony. He's still live. He didn't turn it off.
I know. It was almost. All right. Later.
You're still live, Mark.
Jeez, I will go turn that off.
All right. How do I log out? Leave studio. Are you still going to be live? See you guys later.
All right, back for an encore. No, just kidding. We're signing off. Thank you again for being on. I really appreciate it. Great to see you guys on there. See 8 of you still on there. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Yoo-hoo!